And if you're seeing this is specifically for creators. So I started putting this in the comments of my video. We have a responsibility to hold ourselves to the boundaries that we want to set in the world. And we know that setting boundaries can be scary because it means, what if I don't get to have this thing? What if I don't get to be loved? What if this doesn't work if I have these boundaries in place because I'm having to do this in a way that it's never been done before? It can be hard in any area in which you want to allow yourself to grow, but you understand that the ways in which you're currently operating are not actually going to enable that growth because you're being triggered, because you're constantly putting yourself in a space of doubt, because you're not actually allowing yourself to feel free. And it becomes our job to figure out, how do I remind myself that I set these boundaries? You know this because we're smart. Not everybody's going to show up and look at the story and see the exact same font. Every time I put this thing in the comments, it's a reminder for me of how I do and don't have to respond, how I'm choosing to believe I'm allowed to respond. What freedom am I granting to me? I love stories. I love creating content online. Stories have been a part of my world since I was so very little, and they are one of my biggest passions in the world. The magic of stories is that we all experience them differently. I don't need you to see the story in the same way that I do. I know that for myself, a portion of what I'm looking at is, how is this well done? What can be replicated from this? How do I take this, enable myself to create better work in this world, work that younger girls absolutely need? My intention is always to learn the ways in which I can create better stories, but also to engage in emotional authenticity. I love having a community who's passionate about things, experiences something different, who wants a different version of the story in the world. I don't need you to believe that I'm right to have you exist in my reality. And what I'm responsible for owning myself is that I need to remind myself that everybody communicates differently. And if I don't tell you how I would like this conversation to go, if I'm not giving you the template for what I feel like is a productive emotional conversation, it puts me in this position constantly. It's feeling as though I have to prove that I'm not wrong, when really I'm not needing to prove anything. I'm just valuing my emotional authenticity, and I'm giving you the space to do your own. Whatever that looks like for you, whether or not that's a personal situation, a work situation, whatever the case may be, what are the ways in which you can establish the boundaries that you need and remind yourself that those are the boundaries that you need? Anytime I get a comment that doesn't align with how I feel like I want to expand on this conversation in the world, I give myself the power to say I don't have to respond. Because if you're coming to me and say, explain this to me, I need to know why you think this, I expect you to tell me why you're wrong, that's not my job. It also takes away from creating this bigger version of this world. But because I know that's my boundary, because I put something in place to help me check in whenever I have that tendency to buckle at something that's triggering me, I know that there's something there that helps me say, did I clearly communicate the emotional space that I wanted for this? Did I clearly communicate what I need? And if that's not aligning here, I'm giving myself that freedom to say no.